The Big Ten has released future conference opponents for football for the 2024 through 2028 seasons. Let's go! Welcome to the channel where I'm talking all things Philadelphia Eagles, New York Yankees, New Jersey Devils, and Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. And what's going on, Rutgers fans? My name is Travis Holonics. Come back at you guys on the Rutgers football video here. And now ahead of Saturday's huge game at Wisconsin, our 4-1 Scarlet Knights taking on 3-1 Wisconsin Badgers. We get on Thursday here, a couple of days before the game. Some big news here about the Big Ten Conference releasing future conference opponents for each team for 2024 through 2028 seasons. Huge news here. So now it was obviously now you had UCLA, Washington, and Oregon. All these USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon. You're already adding USC and UCLA. Then obviously after that, news broke they're adding Washington and Oregon as well. So we had the next couple years were set in stone. But then obviously after the addition of Oregon and Washington, Big Ten to make some changes to the opponents and whole scheduling of who's playing who in the next coming years. So that's all been announced today. Let's go through it all. First thing we got to talk about is next year's schedule was going to be real tough for Rutgers. A great season so far. Right now at 4-1 with high expectations for the rest of the season to go bowling and beyond. The next season will be the first year, no divisions in the Big Ten, but Rutgers was scheduled to play every Big Ten East opponent besides Indiana next year. So, I mean, that would mean still playing Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, all those teams in the Big Ten East next year with the first season of no divisions. We've been Rutgers kind of in a tough spot there. But with this new announcement here, that is all changed. Rutgers will now be not playing any of those teams of Michigan, Penn State, or Ohio State. None of them are on the schedule next season for Rutgers now. Just gonna go through it here, kind of the press release here. Opponents now, dates at a later time. Rutgers will play Maryland all 5 years. So that's our one protected kind of opponent, a rival. We've been playing them the last game of the season for the last few years now, and that will probably most likely continue to be probably the last game of the year. We'll play them all 5 years, having 3 matchups set against Illinois, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, Penn State, UCLA, and Washington. And we'll play those teams 3 times throughout the next 5 years. There's a home scheduled versus Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Northwestern, Oregon, Purdue, USC, and Wisconsin. Scarlet Knights take on 14 different Big Ten opponents next 2 years, not seeing Indiana, Michigan, and Northwestern until 2026. So 2 years of not seeing the big power of Michigan, who we play every year the last, 8 years now, 9 years since being in the Big Ten. Rutgers will host 5 Big Ten games at SHI Stadium in 2024, 2026, and 2028, and will host 4 Big Ten games at SHI Stadium in 2025 and 2027. Schedule includes facing new members, as I mentioned, UCLA, USC, and Oregon for first time in program history. That should be absolutely awesome. Rutgers played Washington in 2016, and 2017. Excuse me. So now getting into it right here, the opponents, the Big Ten opponents for next season. So as I mentioned, no Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State now. Home, we'll be playing Illinois, Minnesota, UCLA, Washington, and Wisconsin. On the road, Maryland, Michigan State, Nebraska, and USC. So going out there, Southern California should be awesome. Hosting UCLA and Washington will be awesome. So definitely a huge break for Rutgers now. Not playing those teams. Still good teams, obviously USC, UCLA, Washington on the schedule now. Real good, but just getting a break and not having any of those teams of Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan on the schedule is definitely a break and a little easier, definitely easier schedule for Rutgers. Still be tough, but a break and definitely lighter for Scarlet Knights. 2025 now, Big Ten opponents: home Iowa, Maryland, Oregon, Penn State, away Illinois, Minnesota, Ohio State, Purdue, and Washington. 2026, a couple of years down the road, we will host Indiana, Michigan back on the schedule, playing them at SHI Stadium, host Michigan State as well, Nebraska and USC. We'll go to Maryland, Northwestern, Penn State, and Wisconsin. 2027 Big Ten opponents: home Maryland, Northwestern, Ohio State, and Washington. On the road, Indiana, Michigan, Michigan State, Nebraska, and UCLA. Now the final year, it's been announced, release year 2028, Illinois at home, Minnesota at home, Penn State, and Purdue, and UCLA all at home. And on the road, Iowa, Maryland, Ohio State, and Oregon. So there you have it. Big Ten announced next 5 years of conference opponents for every team in the Big Ten now coming in. Like I mentioned, the additions of USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon starting next season, 2024. Again, this is great. Great Rutgers in the best conference in the world, in the country here. So love it, love it. Rutgers is where we belong in the Big Ten. Luciano won since he took a job in 1.0 back saying in 01 or early 2000s. Finally got here. We've been here now 9 years. Going to be going on a decade. Where we belong, best conference, and it's only getting better. Adding these teams, that's where you want to be. In the best of the best, playing the best of the best, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. So it's a pretty cool news coming out here. It's a couple days before a huge game, big opportunity to get a big win in Madison against Wisconsin. Looking forward to that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video here, Rutgers football, let's go. Definitely, we're building, and love it. So if you enjoyed the video here, love Rutgers football, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you are, thank you. Like the video up here. Drop a comment. Have a good one, everybody. Let's go, Rutgers.